Hey, what's going on YouTube? So, I haven't had a video out in a long time for World of Warcraft, but I've been playing the game long enough to just maybe help out some other fellow Blood DKs that are getting back into the game, and you're looking to push Mythic Plus, or even the guys that are trying to push high keys. Maybe me need a little bit more of an insight, even though there's pretty good guides out there. But this is going to be kind of my own 2 cents towards Blood DK and BFA or in Mythic Plus. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at stats really quick. When you guys are looking at stats, you kind of want to pair up anything with haste, right? So even if you're just starting out, try to pick up pieces that have haste on it. I would say right now the main stat right now is going to be haste crit or haste verse. Now, why do I say haste crit? Haste crit with the haste, yes, haste is your number one stat. But if you're looking for more damage output, then you want to go with the crit. But if you want to go more of a balance in between, uh, you know, healing and damage reduction, then you kind of want to go versatility. You can't go wrong with verse. It's probably my number 2 stat right now because you want to survive, you want to put out some good damage, and if you have some pieces that have crit on it, great. So what you guys should shoot for, honestly, is haste verse or haste crit. And obviously, if you can pick up a piece, or if you do pick up a piece with mastery, that's okay as well. Like I said, I have some braces right here. They have haste and mastery, but they're way better than the other braces that I have currently. You can even look in my bags right now. So I have a pair of 350. They have haste and mastery. This is obviously a lot better. But I also have a few of them up here, which if you look, this one's 370, haste mastery, and this one is crit and verse. Crit and verse, yeah, that's a good piece, but I'd rather take the haste. It's still the same item levels. This is 375, same thing, almost. Doesn't really matter. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about talent choices. Talent choices are going to be based upon what affix is out that week, and then also who you bring to your groups. So what I mean by that is, so currently I have Blood Drinker tapped in for tier 1 talents. For tier 1 talents, you have Heartbreaker and Blood Drinker. Don't worry about Rune Strike. These two you're going to be juggling with depending on the affix. Now, I take Blood Drinker on Tyrannical week, and I take Heartbreaker on Fortified week. It could be juggled, or it could be critiqued, but keep it at that as a base. You use Blood Drinker for the bosses because you're going to pull in a whole lot more healing, and Blood Drinker actually does quite a bit of damage as well. And then if you have Fortified, then let's say next week, so I'm looking at the affixes next week, it's Fortified, Teaming, and Quaking. Quaking I don't really worry about, but Fortified and Teaming I worry about. Why? Because maybe Heartbreaker, for each Heart Strike that I do, you get 2 additional runic power gained per target hit. So if there's more targets, I'm going to get my runic power a whole hell of a lot more up faster than as if I took Blood Drinker. So maybe on a teaming week, Heartbreaker may be my choice, but that's not the case. Today, or this week, it's Tyrannical, so I'm going to take Blood Drinker. Think of it like that. Alright, tier 2. Rapid Decomposition and Hemostasis. Okay, it's pretty simple. Rapid Decomposition, it's more of a damage increase. Do you really need a damage increase? Not really. Okay, not really. It's good and it's bad. Like I said, maybe for teaming and a fortified week it'd be good, but honestly, Hemostasis is way too good of a talent in general. First of all, what it does is if you blood boil, okay, it gives you 2 stacks of Hemostasis when you blood boil just one time, and that increases your healing of damage done by your next death strike by 16%. If I blood boil again, I have 4 stacks, so that increases it to 32%. And for the last time, when I get 5 stacks, that's 40%. So I only have to get 4 stacks, or I only have to pop my blood boil 3 times to get 5 stacks of Hemostasis. And that's a 40% increase in damage and healing from your Death Strike. That's pretty big. So definitely a recommended talent that you want to pick up. Rapid decomposition, you take that if you really want the damage out there for all those ads on teaming. Hey, that may be a good choice, but like I said, try to think of it as what a fix is going to be out. Okay, tier 3, you have Foul Border Work, Ossuary. Those two talents are the ones that you want to look at. Not so much Foul. Right now we have enough health in BFA to sustain. To be honest with you, having more Rune Strikes in your Death Strike reduced, as far as Rune Power, is going to be your best bet. So if you have Ossuary up and you have 5 Bone Shield charges up, the cost of your Death Strike is going to be reduced by 5 Rune Power. That's pretty big. That means you can just get more Death Strikes in, and obviously it's going to heal you up. You can put more damage in, and it kind of goes into with Hemostasis. That's going to help out already. So basically with these two talents picked, you're already getting a reduction in runic power. So 5 runic power reduction to get the Death Strike, and when you do pop off the Death Strike, if depending on how many stacks of Hemostasis you have, you're going to have either 16, 32, or 40% increased healing and damage. So you see why these two are pretty important versus these two. Even on, let's say a fortified week, I would probably stick between these two because they're so strong right now in Mythic Plus. Okay, so we look at Tier 4. Tier 4 is... Tier 4, you kind of look at it like this. You only take Rune Tap if you're having trouble on specific boss mechanics. So let's say whatever boss throws whatever spell at you, and he only does it a certain amount of time. Let's say last expansion in Legion, in Maw of Souls, the first boss would throw his whatever strike at you, and he did it every whatever amount of seconds. And so Rune Tap is something that you brought into Maw of Souls because he would wreck you, and having that damage reduction would help out. So you only take Rune Tap right now. Right now it's not recommended. Neither is Anti-Magic Barrier. Will of the Necro is a whole hell of a lot better. It's highly recommended. I suggest taking it. Okay, Tier 5. Tier 5 is pretty situational, and is more depending on who you bring to the table as far as groups. Now, I look at it like this. I don't look at it so much in the affixes or what's coming up this week. But, and you can look at it that way as well. But you look at it simply like this. Do you have a mage in your group? Okay, if so, then you don't need to take Grip of the Dead. All Grip of the Dead is a 90% decrease in movement when you drop your D&D, which your D&D lasts for 10 seconds. So if you don't have a mage or anybody that really has any good slows, then you could drop your D&D and the ads walk right through it and you're good. That's it. Okay, but let's say you do have a mage, right? Then taking Tightening Grasp is going to help you out a whole lot more, because guess what? Your mage is already good because you reduce the cooldown on your Gore Fiends. So that'll help out a lot more. So every time I'm running with a mage, then I take Titaning's Grasp. But if I don't have a mage with me, and by the way, Frost Mages are really strong in Mythic Plus, so think about that. But if you, like I said, if you don't have a mage, then take Grip of the Dead. Okay, so Tier 6. Okay. Tier 6, I kind of look at it like this. Right now, I've looked up on a lot of forums already and kind of gotten my 2 cents about Voracious or Bloodworms. Bloodworms are pretty superior right now. They do a whole lot of healing, and it's kind of recommended. Mark of the Blood still kind of stands. I never use it. I never used it in Legion. Don't use it. Don't ever use it. Shouldn't even be a talent. They should think about something else that would be a little bit cooler. Right now, Bloodworms is pretty superior in Mythic Plus, so take Bloodworms. Last tier. So you got Purgatory, Red Thirst, and Bone Storm. Now, in Mythic Plus, I have never used Red Thirst just to get my Vampire Blood. It's strong, maybe in rating, but in Mythic Plus, you have 2 options. If you know you can deal with the damage, so you only take Bone Storm if you know how to properly manage Bone Storm, okay? And I really say that, and I'm being kind of critical about that, because it's a lot harder to take.
Bone Storm is for the player that knows how to play a Blood DK. I mean, look at it like this, okay? If you know how to manage your runic power and you know how to get the full runic power so you get the full Bone Storm off. So basically how Bone Storm works is
start building up my Marrow Run stacks, pop a couple Blood Boils. Right now I've got 50 runic power. You want to go for the full stack of runic power, okay? Like I said, if you have more ads and you Heart Strike, then your runic power is going to get up a whole lot faster. So I got 125 runic power, that's the maximum I can go. So now you Bone Storm, and your Bone Storm's up for 10 seconds. So the less runic power, the less time you have on your Bone Storm. Now Bone Storm is really, really superior if you know how to exactly use it. Alright, so Bone Storm is only superior, like I said, if you can manage your runic power. You um, you used to popping cooldowns and you don't die. Purgatory is only if you're running high keys and you know there's a chance you may die. Honestly, it's not a bad talent to take. I mean, it's highly, pretty much recommended when you start pushing higher keys. I mean, even if you are able to keep yourself up very well, Purgatory is just that last standing effort. If you do go down, then the heal has a chance to get you back up, or you can call for a cooldown. Bone Storm is actually pretty amazing in a way of the amount of damage it can put out and the amount of healing it put. I mean, you're literally almost invincible. You pop Bone Storm, you get the full 125 runic power in. It's a good day. You're solid. I mean, you literally won't get touched by anything. It's a good talent to take if you know how to manage it. It's a little scary taking it because if you're so used to Purgatory, then it's a little hard. So you should take Bone Storm if you're running lower keys or you know how to manage your runic power quite well, and take Pure if you I don't know if you're pushing higher keys. That's the only way I look at it. All right, that's talents.